Welcome to the Laugh, Learn, Love podcast with Mr. and Mrs. Mr. I'm your host, Mr. aka Jeffrey Mr. And right beside me in this beautiful Ray on vacation is my wife of almost 15 years. We get closer every day. 2 kids and a lot of craziness.
Dana, Mr. aka Mrs. Mr. And together we are
the Mr. Yeah.
So as you can see, we're in beautiful Fort Morgan, Alabama, right outside Gulf Shores, Alabama. And I'm just here because I don't want to get fired.
She was about to be.
My thing is, he was like, you got to come on and record this. And I was like, I am on trip, vacation, whatever you want to call it. I am there. And so today you guys are getting the no makeup. I'm relaxing, Dana.
Go ahead. It's beautiful today. It's beautiful today. And so
it is a gorgeous day.
Yes. And so, yep. If you knew, every episode we believe in every season of life, you need to laugh, learn, especially, in every season of life, especially marriage. You need to laugh, learn, and love. So you've been following along with us. Thank you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for sharing. If you have not, go ahead and commit and hit that subscribe button. All the same thing. So yeah.
Yes. So I was gonna say, we're here, and I want to know. Most of the time, this is typically a laughing season. Most of the time, when you trips and vacations, you usually laughing with each other, that sort of thing. But how many of you actually argue doing a trip and a vacation?
That's what it happens.
Before, middle, and after.
It happens more often, and that's what we're talking about today. If you tune in, we're talking about 16.
I just
and so I haven't eaten anything, so I'm trying to get this thing. 6 things to discuss before you take a trip. And most people don't. When you take a trip, you're just like, you know what? You got your expectations. I got my expectations. When we meet, that's how most people argue trips. Like, this is it. When you get home, it'd be the quietest ride home ever. If you drive or you taking a flight or whatever you go, or you're on a train or whatever you like.
But I think before we go that far, we have to define the difference between trip and vacation.
Yes.
So my thing is, I want you guys to put in the comments, what do you define? Oh, you got to pick it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up. You lean back a little bit. She's leaning back. So let me apologize too. We are outside on the balcony. So if you hear any kids, we have no idea what's about to happen. No, this is a completely unfiltered, completely unfiltered environment. So I'm bringing the microphone closer to me. We're breaking all the podcast rules today. Forget it though. We on vacation. We're on vacation. We're on a trip. We're on a trip. And we're gonna talk about the difference between what's the difference between a trip and a vacation. Yeah.
Okay. So Jeff and I, we take several trips, right? And most of the times because we bring our kids with us, and so we're going with other family members. Especially my mom, she got to have a XYZ, plan it out. And so I consider those to be trips. I mean, you're going away, which I think is a great thing because you need to go away, right? Just to change the scenery out a little way. But most of the time, I consider trips is when you have to take other people with you or your kids, especially them kids.
So let me summarize. So you're saying a trip, if it's more than the two of you,
if you're more than the two of you, if it's more than me and him, it is considered to be a trip,
a family trip, a trip.
I just feel like
it's work. It's like it's work.
Yeah, like
you got family members.
I call my name 50 million times.
I
do laundry. I have cooked breakfast.
Yeah, so we're trying to record now while they sleep. This is important. A trip. So a trip. More than just the 2 people that are on the trip. So you got kids, you got family members, you got whatever.
Yeah.
That is a trip.
And then like even being at the beach is like, mommy, can you come play with me? Can you come do this job? I just want to sit here, drink my orange juice.
I can understand that.
And so yes. But I mean, you enjoy it because you want your children, you want everybody to experience life, as it is. But yeah.
See, you got helicopters. We got helicopters. This is live. This is live. We have no padding in here. We're just coming out. We want to keep the show going. And so getting it down. So I'll break down a vacation day. So since you got that, we got TD9s in the house. TD9s in the house in the background. So that's a trip. That's a trip. Yeah. So a vacation then would be the opposite then. That means it's just the 2 of you. Yeah. If you're married, it's the 2 of y'all. Yes. Like your honeymoon. Yes. If you went on a honeymoon or whatever, or you went on a vacation, that's a vacation. That means you don't have any kids to tend to. You don't have any family members to go through. You don't have to appease anybody else. It's just the 2 of y'all. That's typically more romantic. It's typically you can do things at your own pace. Our
vacation is what we used to do for our anniversary.
Yeah, so we typically take a vacation for our anniversary every year, and so we suggest, even if you're finding, we're gonna speak on all that in just a second, but just in terms of of like what the difference of it is of a so ask yourself, you listen right now, when's the last time I went on a trip? When's the last time I went on vacation? And maybe the dollars ain't right. Maybe there's some creative things you could do to kind of get into place, but just thinking through there are trips and then there are vacations. And some people love trips, but they really don't want to go on vacation with the person they with. So that's something to discuss more, because it's usually a lack of friendship. It's usually a lack of something that you like, you know what? If the kids are what's keeping us together. If we went for these little dusty kids that we have right now,
not dusty.
we would not be together. So we don't want you to stay in that place. We want you to push yourself out of there. And maybe some people are like, you know what? Forget these kids. We're going on vacation only out of that place. And maybe there's some other chances you can get to do more trips with your family members and whatnot too. So I want you to enjoy yourself and get here in this place to do it. So every episode though, we like to laugh, learn, and love. And so starting off with the laugh portion, we had something happen to us. I just look at the notes because I told y'all I wasn't on here. There you go. I quit for this episode. They didn't show up to the pre-record meeting. So
but I just realized what you did.
So I'll take it. You don't have to say anything. So that way, then it's not a part of this thing. If she can join on what portion she wants to join on. So let's say this: if you are taking a vacation or a trip, like in this case, we roll down. There was a situation. So a lot of you guys reached out to us before when we had our daughter bust in on us. And we thank you for the support. They were like, lock the door. We did that this time. On the trip, we had a little time together, separate that. We had a mother-in-law down there. The kids were gone. And mind you, I want to talk to the housekeepers out there. Let me, if you could come in close. Okay, there's a protocol.
Because y'all
are hard workers. Y'all do your thing. Y'all do your thing.
Especially during this season. Oh,
exactly.
People can be nasty.
And folks are nasty. We try not to be nasty. So that's another thing. If you're in hotels, make sure you pre-do stuff. Don't do something you don't want to do. So like our thing is just take your trash, fix the bed.
Have a little accident or something like that, I leave tips. You know what I'm saying? Because you guys are hard workers.
Yeah, y'all are hard workers.
Yeah. I don't like cleaning up after my family, so I can only imagine cleaning up.
Exactly. So salute to y'all. Y'all are the bread. Y'all are the foundation of this country. Appreciate y'all. Now, I also want to say a caveat. Some of you guys don't knock. Some housekeepers do not knock. And I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. So
Can you say the details?
Can I say the details? Okay, just go straight to it. Okay, I'm going straight to it. So let's just say you're married. You guys are married. Most of you guys are. We have single people to listen to. You guys are married. So sometimes as a married couple, sometimes the feeling arises. And so you're in a hotel room that you paid for. You think that is something that you can enjoy. And so we had a situation where the housekeeper, we called for some towels and stuff. Now you got to call for towels during, this COVID season. You got to call and request your time. Long you had to sign up. So the door, boom, we busted in. She just walked. I felt like, it was like, how did kids get in this place? And mind you, I'm tooted up. I don't say the details. Okay, guys. Well, you can imagine. You've been there before. If you got kids, your mom and them got kids.
Walked in on
See, boom.
So can we just make it another rule? Just make sure you knock.
Especially during this time.
Like, just not. She probably not likely. I'm not for sure, but
she did not knock it off. I was there, and she was like, she busted in and she went straight to the bathroom looking for the towels. And she came. She looked up. She was like, who booty is tooted up in there?
She didn't say that.
She didn't say that. Her face. It is something about looking at somebody, seeing you in a very vulnerable situation. It to look back.
Yes.
And she was like,
but anyway.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But first of all, we'll apologize.
We will find you. No, we ain't apologizing. We were doing what we were supposed to be doing. She needs to apologize. You knock in a hotel room. At least give, and there's a courtesy. What, 5 seconds? 5 to 7 seconds? Yeah, 7 second number of completion. Yeah. Let's start it today. This is a 7 second pause. You need to wait. Don't knock and enter. What's the purpose of knocking if you're gonna enter? It's like going to the restroom. If you know somebody knocking in, walk right in. You don't do that. No, who raised you? Yeah. That's not all the housekeepers. We love all y'all, but that one, you know who you are. Yeah. We will find you.
No, we won't. It's okay.
She saw me tooted up in there.
Alrighty. And we gotta move right along to the ad. Tell them what they.
So let me get to it. Thank you. So we're gonna find this later. So if you're looking for vacations, right? Yes. Looking for vacations.
Trip.
Yeah, trip. or whatever, and you don't want the housekeeper to bust in on you like that.
And if you don't want the house of planning it yourself.
Because we were at a hotel this time. Typically, resorts are better. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll let you know. But we love Summer Breeze Vacations for curating luxury experiences in the Caribbean and Mexico. If warm sun, turquoise waters rather, turquoise. What is that? You can get both of them there. And cool Caribbean breeze, I call your name. Check out sbvacations.com. The Summer Breeze Vacation team caters to the most discerning couples seeking 5-star accommodations and bespoke itineraries that focus on what is important to each unique couple, like privacy. Tell them about it. From anniversary trips to honeymoons, baby moons, to simply just because trips or vacations. We talk about let the Summer Breeze Vacation team take the pain out of planning so you can sit back, relax, and enjoy your romantic getaway. That's Summer Breeze Vacations. That's sbvacations.com. You can also find them on Instagram at Summer Breeze Luxury Vacations.
And that's SB as a boy.
SB, I got a look. Yes. So Superman and boy. There's at sbvacations.com. So so holler at them if you don't like to be tooed up in the air. I felt vulnerable.
Okay.
You got them?
And we're gonna move right along to the last portion.
Yes, to get that too, right? So, and this is what we're talking about today, right? We're talking about 6 things you need to discuss before you take a vacation or a trip, either one of those, or you going with your girls, or you going with your guys, or you going together as a couple, or you taking your family members, especially if you're taking your family members. These are some things you need to talk about.
And this is going to be helpful for me because I know a lot of times I just plan.
Oh yes, and this is something too, and that's thank you. I'm glad you mentioned that too.
I'm just being very transparent.
That's what we're here for. And
especially if it's something like me and my mom are like, girl, where you want to go? Girl, where you want to go?
Wow. So y'all don't include anybody else?
No, because typically most of the time, okay, you got to keep in mind, I grew up where that's how it was done. Like you could plan it. And so it's just like you go.
Who would plan it? You said who?
The wife.
So, and it's plenty of people like that too. The dude has no for sure.
But I'm doing better. Now I consult with Jeff and talk to him.
I appreciate when you do that. I really it makes me feel good. Instead of just coming up, you show up here and this is how much you have to pay. No, I'm saying some people I like that though. Some people are like, you show up here, this is how much you have to pay, and you have no decision making.
No, but so, I mean, use that, but like, hey, so I send that Google Calendar.
I'd be like, so is this already booked? Is it already booked there, or is this something to get to that? You see that? Yeah. So this is something to discuss. It is something that some of these areas we do well in, some of we got to continue to grow and push into. Number 1 is budget in money. So this is what we hear about. I don't have the money to go on vacation. So starting there. So if you have something, it's going to be in the love portion just a minute too, of just saying, I need to go ahead and set up. If something on the calendar, I want to go ahead and set up for next year or 6 months from now, go ahead and set up.
Now, you can really plan 2 years in advance for a lot of things. So when people say they can't, it's not that you can't, it's the planning. Like Jeff and them laugh at us all the time. Jeff and my siblings laugh at us all the time because me and my mama were just alike. Like I promise you, as soon as we go ahead and book a year in advance or 2 in advance, because it's like first of all, you get the best deals. You do get the best deals.
Possibly.
Because just
sometimes
you get the best deals. Because like this condo here now, it was like if you want to try to book it like in March, April, like it was triple. You know what I'm saying? So it's Fair enough. You do get the best deal. So I just tell people to go ahead and book in advance if you can. Most of the time places are only requiring a deposit, and then you could pay a little bit at a time, So I think, it's a matter of how we spend our money, how we budget our money. For me, it is like, mine is not my weakness. I shared this before. My weakness is not like shoes and all of that stuff. I love vacations. I love trips. I love providing experiences to my family. So I think it's just a matter of budgeting it out. So
gotcha.
And remember, Dave Ramsey said, "Pay yourself first."
It is.
Pay yourself first.
Excuse the truck driving by if you're listening on audio. This is live. We're live out here. But so budget in terms of thinking through. And so many times you can look at your budget, and that's something that a lot of people didn't grow up on. I was talking to your sister Naja, and they are engaged, about to get married soon this year.
We're gonna have them on too.
That'd be great to have. Yep, an engaged couple that's getting ready to jump into this journey. Whoa, we got 15 years. So a lot of things have happened since then. But talking about the budget, the money, that can be a trip breaker or a vacation breaker when you have one idea about the vacation and your partner has another idea of vacation and you have not talked about it at all. And you would be amazed at how many people go on vacation and one person like, you know what, we eating lobster and caviar every trip. Another person like, you know what, I don't want to struggle on bills when we get back. So I want to make sure we get that place. So you guys coming together and talking about, okay, what's a compromise? Maybe we will have a
nice
big, nice dinner,
dinner.
but also we may need to go to the
find that balance because, as you guys know, my husband, who I love so dearly, is very economical. Right?
I like
I
what you said
love that about him. So my thing is, I do find a balance of where it's like, okay, you may have one or two fine dining experiences or whatnot, or something that costs a little bit more. It may not be fine dining, but something that costs a little bit more. And then it could be other times where, like, you probably could get something like 10, 12, $15 a person, because it's just that balance, because we do have two different tastes, and I love that. So, and like pretty much as long as it's good food, I can find something anywhere. So
yeah, so there you go. Go ahead and plan it out. Or I'm like this. I'm always like, so like when we come to, I'm like, send me the PowerPoint.
Now I don't do a PowerPoint, but what I will do
like,
send
me the
go ahead and add stuff in my notes, and I just share it with him. I send it to
him.
I
appreciate that.
So he could just
that's
see
something we haven't always
like,
done.
Well, yeah, that's something that I just started within the last year or so.
See,
so he could be kept informed of
13, 14 years.
Yeah. So he can be kept informed of what the expectations are. But now, and then what I love is like when he'll come up like, well, what are we doing today? Oh, no. I set the itinerary.
So yeah, so talk about that. My money is a tough part too, but just be open, be curious. Don't jump to conclusions. If you have triggers, like we talked about with Beth, go back and listen to the episode with Beth. Thank you. Shout out Beth, Solidified Wellness. And so talk about those triggers. If money is a big trigger for people, especially if you came up and that was a problem and whatnot too. So talk about that. Number one, budget and money. Number two, sex expectations.
Is it sleep arrangements for the kids?
Sleeping arrangements for the kids. Yeah. One, this is what we hear too, is so many times where one person like, you know what, I want the kids all up under us. I want us to get a king size bed. And the other person, male or female, is on both sides, to where you looking like, I took off work. I came for the yams, or I came for something for us. Even during a trip, you're trying to find some time to do that. So talking and discussing about what those things are as you go to that place, and not, because many times disappointment is from unmet expectations. And so, and many times we want our partner to read our mind on what our expectations are. So is that you? Do you want your partner to read your mind on what your expectations are, or is it something that you can discuss? And this 6 minute time, even though we know this is a part of marriage and relationships and whatnot too, it's a taboo subject. It's a trigger for a lot of people. Some people look at it like, yes, we get a chance to do it. And some people it can be like anxiety, like now I have to perform, now I have to do something in the sense of that. So talking about what those expectations are, and many of us didn't have parents that did that, or we didn't know, that was going on, during the trip or whatever. So talk about that. Y'all are married. Talk about that and come to something before you leave out. Some people are like, well, you knew it's this time, I'm trying to get I work so hard. No, they don't know, but being able to talk. Or I thought we were gonna get it in every day.
That's definitely unmet expectation.
You see what I'm saying? But like, if you don't talk about it beforehand, you're gonna be sitting back, mugging the person while they sleep. Look at you breathing.
Right.
Look at you over there breathing and carrying on. So so being able to talk about those things too.
Another important one is like food preferences and diet and dining out. A lot of times when we do condos, we usually typically cook. Especially when we come with Gigi, like that's what we what we do. We may eat out maybe once or twice or something like that, but usually we do. But like I think it happens when you get hotel stays or like resort stays. Well, resort stays a little bit different because it's all inclusive. Most resorts are all inclusive. So when you go out of country, but like when you do like hotel stays or whatnot, or even resorts in the US, well, now you have to look at costs, and again it goes back to that budget. So I think it goes back, if you both could kind of like talk it out. Like now I've
communicate.
I know Jeff a little bit more now, so I know or even learning more about my kids. So I know when we come down this area, like the shrimp basket or something like that, like things that's economical, but still you could get a decent meal or something like that, or so I think it's just communicating. And also Jeff is vegan or all those good things. So it can be challenging trying to find those type places in this area, especially like on the coast. It's seafood, so that's you get seafood. It's challenging. So it
goes back down to communication too, because what happens typically, you thinking, oh, I thought you loved this. And so many times, if you know the person, maybe you want to take a shot in the dark and try doing that, but also like communication of, you know what, thinking, because one person too can go in thinking we eating fine, like we mentioned earlier, fine dining every time, and somebody's like, you know what, I just scraped over the money for us to go on a trip, and now I don't want to go into debt doing it. And so if it's a budget and it's sticking to it, and you're saying, you know what, if it's one person who's a little like, you know what, once I get here, listen, I'll figure it out when I get back. And so having something you already set up of like, you know what, okay, we can splurge a little bit here, or let's go ahead and do something else, or maybe we just take out some drive-through on one day so we'll be able to eat, you know.
And I would say this too, going back to the budget, this is kind of, if you can, go ahead and try to pay as much for stuff beforehand. Like most of the time your condo is paid for beforehand, or like your hotel could be paid for beforehand. So that way, all you really have to worry about is food. And then another thing too, I know some people now they start to get like gift cards. Now we haven't got to that level yet.
I was about to say,
some people do like gift cards and that sort of thing, especially when you go to Disney, right? Because Disney can be so expensive. But they do like the gift cards and all of that to, you know, help. So that way, when you do go back, well, you know, it's kind of like when it's like having the gift cards or like having cash. The only thing about cash, well, gift cards is make sure you just hold on to it.
Yeah.
So
you know, be eating Rayman noodles on the trip.
So, you know, that's the only thing. So, you know, I would just say just try to plan as much as you possibly can beforehand. That way, when you do go back, that's, you know, that would may help to eliminate
cut down another argument.
A lot of arguments.
Cut down another argument. Look up the menus too. Now you can look up the menus before going. So like if that's the thing, you know what? Like let me just see what we're looking at. So you're not getting to the restaurant like, ooh, I can't even pay attention in here. It's so expensive. So you know about what you're looking at, so you can kind of, you know, budget that down. So one thing that we kind of do is saying, okay, we have about this much for food going in, you know, so you kind of know that.
Yeah.
Piece two. Okay. Yep. Next is transportation preferences. So this is it. You have some people who are like, you know, I've made it to a place in my life. I'm not driving over 30 minutes.
That's great.
You got some people like, well, my budget determines that's a lot. So
well, for me, I would definitely prefer to fly, but to get here to like the coast of like Alabama and all that stuff, Florida, it's easier to drive. Now, when we went to Panama City back in March, we did fly, but that's because we both had like credits, and Jeff was like, I don't feel like driving. So
yeah, if you're the driver should have a huge vote on what this is. Everybody else like, yeah, we can drive. Oh, you can ride is the difference of what it is.
So yeah, so that's one of the things. So, and I respect that because I love flying regardless. So I do have a limit, but like I say, I adjust according to this because I love coming here. Like this is probably one of my favorite places to come outside of going out of the country because it's beautiful beaches and all of that stuff. So I love coming here, and it's quiet for the most part.
Yeah.
So
surprised nobody ain't just yelling out the back of it.
It's easier to drive versus trying to, because by the time you fly into Pensacola, then you have to rent a car, and then try to get a rental car now, it's like, whoo, it's a struggle. It's real.
So yeah, thinking through all those things, being honest with each other, not just saying my way is the highway or my way is the highway, and being able to see, okay, what feels the right thing for us. Somebody just cranked up a motorcycle. What's the right? The devil is busy. And just thinking about what's the right mode of transportation for us, especially if you have kids, if you're taking family members, just thinking through what does this look like, and just being open, be curious to that, communicate as you get to that place. Yep. What's the next?
Another thing too, when you mention family members, just know when you going in, go ahead and, because like, for example, if you going with multiple families or something like that, go ahead and set the expectation as well, right? So you know what I'm saying, because you don't want to be falling out with family over anything, right? So go ahead and set the expectation. So if you going in with a condo or a beach house with family members, go ahead and divide it up. You know what it's gonna look like with groceries. Set a budget for that. You know, or tell everybody this is what you brought. Like, you know, like for us, my mom brought like the chicken, and I brought dessert, and another family brought like the size, so just set the expectations. I just wanted to put that.
That is, hold on, let me say one little quick thing with that. Yes, some of us have still not speaking to a family member now because of they said they were going on a vacation or a trip, rather, and they didn't come through, and you had to take care of the other costs. So let's get down to the nitty gritty beforehand, especially if you're trying to get another season. You've been stuck in the house for a year or so, you're trying to get back out.
So communication. Make sure you communicate everything clear. Expectations and clear communications, because don't leave everything up for assumption, and don't feel like, because especially if you're going on vacation or a trip or whatever with these people, you should have a good relationship with them. So you want to make sure, hey, this is the expectations, because a lot of people won't know. Like another family that came with us, like, we wanted to let them know, hey, the condo is a little bit far out, so you may want to stop at the grocery store, because it's like 20 miles from the city, it's like Walmart and all of that stuff, then there's traffic, all of that stuff. So it's just setting those clear expectations, so nobody won't be like, wait a minute, I didn't know, because I know for us, when we first came out here, like I said, we had no idea.
Yeah, for sure. We were like, what in the world? And just control what you control. Like, and just being, when you go on, things will not go the way you planned it for it to go. But don't be the person that, I knew I should have came out here now. Well, maybe you should have stayed your tail at home next time.
Sightseeing preferences.
Yes. Some people, I'm saying this too. Some people like to just chill. Look, I've been working grind all this time. I just want to chill. I don't want to see nothing. And some people I want to get up at 5 a.m. and stretch the whole day out.
Yeah. So again, it goes back to set the expectations. What is this trip? What is this vacation? What is the expectation? Like, what do we plan to get out of this? Is this one of those kidnap, relaxing? We're gonna grill, like we're gonna just sit on the beach, drink our wine, like is it those type of vacations? Or it's like, a straight itinerary.
We're going down. We putting work.
Yeah. So I think it's just because going back to what is your preference? I know for this particular one was more relaxing. Everybody's been grinding. My sister, my brother, like they all graduated. My sister's fiance, like everybody's been grinding. I know we've been grinding. It's just been a long year. It seemed like this year is going by super duper fast. So for us, it was more so like, this is a chill, relaxing type, although, we still did some things, but it was more so like a chill. So,
Yep. And so just being open to having options for people, like if they don't want to go on all the things you want to have, it's okay. And you be okay with that. But if it's just you two, being honest and flexible, you know what? I just really want to stay in and binge Netflix while we're here naked on anything and just watch whatever. And maybe that's your thing. And so balancing, but communicating. Your partner may say, you know what, I want you to want to be a part of this too. And you may, it might be vice versa. So finding some type of compromise before going in is huge.
Yes.
And the last one, solo time. What do you mean? We on a trip by yourself.
Yes. Go ahead.
I know, go ahead. What you do?
No. Well, sometimes the solo time, especially when you go with a lot of people, that can be a little bit challenging to have like your one-on-one time. But if you do see somebody like off to themselves, for me, my solo time, this particular one was getting up in the morning, come out here, have my orange juice, spend it like just looking at that view, or
that's what you're doing out here?
Yes. And
you left me? You got the bed and left me in this thing?
So, well, because typically when I'm away, the only thing about me when I am away from home, it's hard for me to really sleep long, so I don't know why, but it's hard for me too. But,
when you at home, you should be slobbed out.
Oh yes, my bed is so comfortable at home, so it's nothing like your bed at home. So, but like I say, I love going, but I love my bed at home. So yeah,
you hear the birds in the background.
Yeah, but yeah. So for me, it's just like getting up in the morning before everybody else getting up. So my mama, I can never beat my mama up. She up before me, but I like to get up and just come out and look. And like for Jeff, I know one of the things he loves to do is just sit in there reading his book on the beach, or sometimes he'll just go out in the ocean by himself, put his earbuds in, and be dancing and stuff like that. So, just I know it can be challenging doing when you go with a group of people, but if you can get some type, even if it's 10, 15 minutes a day, solo time, I think it's good for your mental health as well. So.
But I think another part of this, just we've been saying through all these 6, is just communication, because I know some of my friends are introverted people, so they're like, I have to get myself mentally ready to be around people, even around your spouse sometimes. So it's like communicating that so they don't take it, because I'm an extrovert. So like if you were like, I need a bunch of solo time, I'm like, well, what's going on? What's the deal? So it's like being able to communicate that so that they have an understanding. It's not them, but like also too, you venturing on the other side of being around people. Don't have a whole solo trip. And I know some men do
Don't go
this.
on a trip of vacation with your people and then you still be over there
Some
solo.
men do this. They'll go and they'll just be on the golf course the entire
don't do that.
trip, and your family's like, "Oh yeah, have we seen Henry? Have we seen have we seen Lamar? Where they at this time?" And so, but that comes from communication, and many times there's resentment if you're not doing those things. So those 6 things, which of those 6 are you good at right now? Which of those 6 do you want to work at? Which 6 do you need to go leave from this podcast and go talk about because you got a trip coming up or you got a vacation coming up and you got that place? So shout out anybody who's a caregiver of kids while you go on vacation. Thank you for those who've been there for us. We appreciate that, and that's helped us, stay this morning.
So just to recap, budget, money.
Start off number 1. Yep.
Sets expectations, sleep arrangements for the kids, food preferences such as diet and dining out, transportation preferences, if y'all Uber and Lyft, flying, driving, sightseeing preferences, and solo time. Those are the 6. So which one do you feel like you're doing excellent at, and which one do you feel you need to work on? All righty, well, I enjoyed this topic. This is definitely my type of topic.
And so hold on, let me
discuss. Go ahead.
Thank you. So and so your love, your homework, we'll try to give some homework on this Laugh, Learn, Love podcast with Mr. and Mrs. Mister is to discuss your next vacation or staycation. If the budget, the coins ain't right now, you can have something in-house. Discuss that with your partner. Yeah, and so just make it, you can do something. You don't have to have it where you can just something different outside the norm that tends to happen in that place, and push yourself outside of that. And if something needs to be discussed, those expectations out of the way, get that budget out of the way. Think about your triggers, what's causing you to get your shoulders in a bunch. Or when you say, "Oh, you always ask about," just saying, just get curious about that. Right. Communicate it through. And you got a family member that you still have beef with, call them. Talk to them and say, "Hey, you know what? I felt some type of way about that. Get past that. Your solo time, all those things kind of push there." So, and so if you argue through it, we do the Mr. Mantra. We look at each other. Let me set this down.
And we say,
lean in closer. We get closer. Lean in close. You look at each other in the eyes. Whether you argue, you about to argue, or you gonna argue on the trip, you try to get away. Look each other in the eyes. It's a good time to look each other in the eyes. You want to go?
I like you. I love you, and I want you. So that's why.
Listen, I'm showing the ring. Look, I paid for this thing here, baby. 15 years ago. Hold on. You got. I ain't ready for the song. Okay. You got to cue me up. Okay. I got to get my voice. Hold on. Let me get my. Me. Okay, come on.
1, 2, ready, go. Hey, laugh, learn, love.
Hey,
laugh, learn, love.
Hey,
laugh, learn, love.
With Mr. and Mrs. Mister.
Laugh, learn, love.
Hey,
laugh, learn, love.
On vacation.
Laugh, learn, love.
With Mr. and Mrs. Mister. Yeah.
And that's our show.
Support our sponsors, baby. SBVacations.com. Y'all go on a vacation. Love on yourself. Love your people. Or your trip. Yes. Whichever one you need. You know which one you need. You may need both. So y'all stay in there. Love y'all, man. God loves you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. All right? Woo! Subscribe. New episodes every Tuesday of the Laugh, Learn, Love podcast with Mr. and Mrs. Mister.